Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you just a basic application and then also how I do foil dips. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to be using Al 21's Prep. I have already cleaned my cuticles and scrubbed them with, scrubbed my hands with Dawn Dish soap, and I've had enough time to let my hands dry because I've set up everything to do my nails and then while it was drying. So you just want to apply some of the prep to your nails. And the pH prep is basically just there to help dry out any other oils that could potentially be on your nails. Um, it's not necessarily like a must have in your routine, but I've always done it since I've been doing my nails, and so I figure why stop now? So now that that is all applied and dry, we're going to be going in with the base coat. Maybe here in a minute I'll get to the base coat. We'll see. All right. So I think I'm pretty much off camera for that first one, and so I'm going to be going back in. And this is just doing a base of clear on my nails. It's just one of those other things that I feel like I always do, and I don't know exactly why. I feel like it just helps something. Not sure, but I just always do it. But you'll want to get as close to your cuticle as you possibly can without touching your cuticle, even for this base coat. I know I feel like a lot of companies tell you to go like a quarter of a way from your cuticle and then go all the way up for the second one and all this, but I found this just works best for me. The liquids that I use, they're pretty thin. They're thin, they're self-leveling, so I don't feel like I have that bulkiness around my cuticle even doing all of my dips at the same cuticle line. So we're just going to zoom through this and then I'll see you back in a second. Alright, so the colors that I'm using in this mani, I'm going to be using Pedal to the Metal by Miss Raven. It's the foil dip. It's just foils in a clear dip powder. And I always pour my foil dip into a cupcake liner because it's easy for whenever after you apply your base coat, if you just lay your finger on top, you'll see that I'm tapping it. That's what helps get the foil up to the top so you can make sure that you get some good coverage on that. The other color that I'm using is Zooty Nails 1926. It's a very gorgeous pinkish, whitish, or let's say whitish, pinkish color. It's probably more white than it is pink. And then you'll want to give it a good stir, especially if you're doing the pour over method, because the fluffier and the more broken up your powder is, the easier it's going to apply on there when you pour it over. And then we're going in with the base coat. Um, Basically like we did the clear, you want to go all the way to your cuticle, from your cuticle to your free edge. Make sure you give it a nice good coat. Al 21, this base and top coat liquid is it's self-leveling. It's very thin. It's very awesome liquid for a beginner to start out with. It has really good slower drying time, and so it is a really beneficial liquid to have, especially if you're a beginner. Um, and then you'll just want to pour over and just make sure you tap off the excess, and then go in with a toothpick for around the cuticles, because you want to try to make sure that you get those clean cuticle lines around there. Make sure that it's not on your finger, it's not sure on the skin, it's make sure it's not around your cuticle, and then just keep going. I'm going to be doing my hand like this for I'm doing all 5 nails. Yeah, I'm doing all 5 nails and Zooty 1926. I'm going to be doing 2 dips of that, and then we'll see you back soon. All right, so we're done with that first dip on all 5 nails, and you're going to want to make sure that you brush off all the excess dip powder that's on your nails, because you don't want that to get into your brush whenever you go back to do your second base coat. All right, so we're going back in with this base coat. You'll see right there where I actually just wiped off the brush. You'll want to make sure that you do that every time that you are painting on the base coat over a an already dipped nail, just so you don't have any kind of cross contamination going on in there. All right, so now it's time for the foil dip. And you'll see me kind of spreading out the cupcake liner because you'll want to have it try to as open as much as possible. I feel like I opened it up way too much, and then it was like I couldn't get it to like tap right or whatever. And I think you'll see me almost like spill it out here in a minute, trying to get this cupcake liner to work. I usually use this metal one, or these metal cupcake liners, or like aluminum cupcake liners, but I'm out of it, so I just have these for right now. You'll just want to make sure that you're tapping it to try to get that foil up to the top. This would be the same method that you would want to do for whenever you're doing chunky glitter as well. You know, tap that up to the top to get those big chunky glitters up on the top of it. And then you'll want to apply your base coat the same as you would from cuticle to free edge, and then you want to lay your finger down into the dip powder like so, and then tap off, and then kind of like push down like you see me doing with my finger. Just push down those foils to make sure that they're kind of stuck on there, and then clean up those cuticle lines and keep going. Alright, so now that I'm done dipping all my nails, I'm going to go back in with a layer of base coat on top of my dipped nails, and this is what I do before activating now. I used to encapsulate all my manis in clear, and then I picked this trick up along the way, and I feel like it works better for me. I haven't had any issues with since I've been doing it, so I'm gonna keep on doing it because it doesn't add any bulkiness to my nails. You'll want to do this on all of your nails, or if you prefer to do it in clear, this would be you would do base coat and then you dip back into clear. And if you do it this way, you'll want to let your nails dry for like at least a minute or so, and then that's when you're going to go back in with the activator. And whenever I do the base coat on top of my nails, I like to do like I'll coat my nail once in activator, and then I'll do a second coat of activator on all of my nails, and then let it hang out and dry for a couple seconds. I will add in that if you have activator that's in a spray bottle or a bottle dropper, you can do it over this as well. I feel like it like I usually use my spray activator, but I'm just out of it at the moment, and I've got to get some more. But just wait and let it dry for a minute, and then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start filing here in a second, and I'm probably just gonna zoom through all that. You will see actually right here, I'm starting out with this super duper thin um, file, and I love this one to just go around my free edge, go around the sides, and then go around my cuticles just to try to like smooth everything up and get everything into the shape that I want it to do, or the shape that I want it to be. And then I'm going to do this to all 5 nails, and then after that I'm going to go back in. I usually actually use just a regular nail file for whenever I buff my nails now. I feel like I can get like a little bit better control over it because it's not so bulky in my hand. um Yep. And I guess, I mean, a lot of the filing and buffing and the tools that you use for this is just personal preference, If you love using a buffer block, do what you do, boo boo. I'm not here to tell you that using a buffer block isn't the right way to do it. This is all just me telling you how I do my own nails. It's just like little things that I've picked up here and there along the way. Also, to add, this nail file that I'm using right now, this is probably one of my favorite nail files I've ever used before. It's an ASP from Sally's. I don't get any kind of like the grit doesn't come off and stick to my nails. It doesn't discolor or anything. And then you'll see this cute ass little fucking buffer block right chow. And oh my lord, y'all, if you don't have these yet, go on Amazon and look up these little bad boys because they are a lifesaver. I love them. Um, After I'm done filing, I'll basically just go back over my nails and I just use this little bitty buffer block to get all in the nooks and crannies and everything that sometimes those bigger buffer blocks can't get into, just to smooth my nail out as much as possible. And see you back in a second. All right, so now that I've buffed and filed and everything like that, and I've got my nails as smooth as possible, I go back in with one of these hard bristle brushes and just make sure, like, I scrub my nails and make sure I get all that dip powder out. If it's stuck around my cuticle, stuck underneath my free edge or whatever, I just go back in and I scrub it until I make sure I get everything out. And then sometimes I'll go back through with my nippers. I mean, I'm not perfect, you know. I get shit on my nails. I get shit on my fingers all the time, and I just go back in with my cuticle nippers and I kind of just peel that base coat and dip powder off the sides of my nails. And then I'll also go back in with a toothpick around the edges again just to make sure that I've got all that dip powder out of there. That way it's not going to get clumped up or try to contaminate my top coat when I'm ready for that. After I'm doing all this, I'm going to activate again and I'll see you back soon. Alright, so now that I'm activating, after I apply this activator to all five of my nails, you want to make sure that you let your nails dry for at least 1 to 2 minutes. Um, I feel like any kind of drying time underneath 1 minute, you run the risk of trying to potentially contaminate your brush whenever you go back in. And then you'll want to make sure that you go through. A lot of people use lint free. I actually use these Viva paper towels that I get at Walmart, and they're balling as fuck. So you make sure that you just want to go back and rub all your nails to make sure that you get all that excess activator that isn't soaked in and isn't dry off of there as much as possible. A lot of people also use rubbing alcohol on this step as well. I don't. I tried to one time and it just didn't work out that well for me, and so I don't do it anymore. And then I get a separate paper towel that I haven't used for anything to go back in on my top coat because after, and then you'll want to do a couple um, quick swipes on your first round, you know, with your top coat going in, and you'll want to make sure that you wipe off your brush every single time after, especially after activating, when that top coat brush touches that nail after activating, make sure you wipe that brush off before you stick it back in your bottle. This is where I feel like a lot of people have issues with their brushes hardening, and it's because either you didn't wait long enough because your activator wasn't dry, or because you didn't wipe off the activator well enough, or you didn't wipe off your brush after touching your activated nail and putting it back in the bottle. So a couple quick swipes to go back in, you know, and then after you've done those couple quick swipes on each nail, this is when you'll want to go back in to do a more detailed top coat, you know, just to make sure that you get every inch of that nail covered, or every like all the surface of your nail covered, and then just make sure you cap the free edge, and then you are done, son. And then also, you didn't see me do it in this video. I guess I should have done it. You'll want to, after your nails are dry, you'll want to apply cuticle oil to your nails to make sure that, because I mean, you'll see, you saw it a little while ago after like cleaning up my nails and all that stuff, like how my fingers look kind of dry. Just make sure you go back in and slather them bitches up with some oil. And we are done, y'all. Just check out that freaking shine, man. I'm telling y'all, aisle 21 is where it's at for liquids. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure you leave me some comments below of what you want to see me do next. Bye.